Hey guys, it's me, the Afro Hamurai, and I'm gonna help you fix your audio in Audacity. Now, if you're used to this channel, normally you'll see I'm in Ableton, but unfortunately, Ableton costs money, so instead I'm gonna use Audacity because if you're starting out, you should be able to do all of this without having to spend too much money, right? Also, this audio isn't recorded from my portable recorder. I'm using it for the voiceover, but this audio is literally just from my microphone from my phone. So I'm gonna like play some of it and you'll hear what it sounds like at the moment, and we're gonna do some fixing. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? Right, we're gonna have to fix this. So first thing that I notice in my audio is even before I start talking, we have this bit that should be silence that is instead noise. So I'm gonna play it for you. There you go. Really simple noise. Sounds like TV static, except that it's kind of quiet and beneath everything. We're going to fix that right now. So I've selected that audio. I'm going to go into Effect and Noise Reduction. And because I have that silent bit selected, I'm going to hit Get Noise Profile. And what that does is it tells Audacity, hey, you see these sorts of sounds? Try and remove them, all right? Now what I'm going to do is select where my audio starts and finishes, right there. And I'm going to go back into that again. So Effect and then Noise Reduction. There we go. And I'm going to hit Preview and I'm going to hear what this sounds like. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. It's pretty good, actually. I'm going to turn down the noise reduction. I'm going to turn the sensitivity up a little bit and I'm going to turn the frequency smoothing up. The reason I'm going to turn the noise reduction down is because I don't want it to reduce noise so much that in bits where I'm talking quieter, it turns down me talking. I'm going to increase the sensitivity slightly so it picks up a little bit more noise, and I just want it to sound a bit smoother, so this should help out a bit. Let's hear preview now. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them, and I've been reading through them. Yeah, that sounds really good. So we're going to hit OK, and that will commit it to that audio. So this bit still has noise, but you'll see it turns off afterwards. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them, and I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence. There we go, that's really nice. If you wanted to, on that step where I selected the audio, you can just click and then use like Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac, select everything, and then run that noise reduction over it all, and then it would have this bit be quiet as well. But I never know where that might be useful again, so I'm going to keep it there. Another thing that will kind of sound a bit nicer is trying to make this sound a bit more like what you get from, YouTubers' microphones. And they do that a lot through, well, using a better microphone, but also through something called EQ. So I'm going to select all of the audio again, and I'm going to go to Effect and Filter Curve. Yes, and this is a filter curve EQ. So to explain it like really quickly, I've kind of put some overlays. This is like bass. This is your mids. So this is where like most of your voice lives. This is kind of like where your S and T sounds live. And then this usually is hardly anything when it comes to voice, but I just leave it there anyway. So what I'm going to do is click and add a few points onto this curve. They're really small and it's kind of hard to see, but there's like little points that I've made. And then when I drag them up and down, I can make like little cuts or boosts to make stuff sound a bit nicer. Generally speaking, if you want to kind of remove a bit of a nasally sort of sound, you want to reduce your EQ somewhere in the mids. So have a little bit of a cut, but not too much. So something like there, because that's a very big scale. Jump cut. I've made the scale a bit bigger so that I can see it better because I don't want to cut anything more than like really 3 or 6 decibels. I'll give a little bit of a boost, a slight boost, if anything, to bass. There we go. And we'll have a preview now and see what it sounds like. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. Okay, that sounds a bit nicer, but let's do a little bit more sculpting. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. Yeah, that sounded a lot better. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. Yeah, this sounds about right. Yeah, again, with the filter EQ, it's worth a little bit of experimentation. Once you have a good EQ, it's worth saving it as a preset if you're going to be using that same equipment. So if I was using the same microphone, like the microphone from my phone, and I was in the same environment, so in my living room with like my computer doing some stuff, then it's worth going manage and then save preset. So then that way you have this available, so you can just bring it back up and then your audio should sound relatively similar through all of your YouTube videos. And for now, I'm going to hit OK. And let's have a listen. I'm going to undo that step and then redo it, and then you can hear what it sounds like. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? And then he FaceTimes me, and he's like, "How are the books going?" And I say, "Yeah, they're going really good." Yeah, so that sounds a lot better. That sounds closer to the tone I look for in using my actual microphones. But we can do a little bit better with this. So one thing that you'll notice is that my volume kind of changes quite a bit. Like I can sometimes talk quite loudly, but then other times talk quite quietly. We want to make that relatively consistent. So we're going to use something called a compressor to do that. But for us to do that, we kind of need to do a little bit of research. So real quick, I'm going to play my audio and I'm going to have a look at this top right section to see how loud my sound is kind of at the moment. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? Okay, cool. So my audio lives around about -24, -26, sort of. The reason you want to know that is because you'll need that for the compressor. But let's go into the compressor. We'll go into Effect, and then Compressor. So what a compressor will do is if you have a really loud sound that goes above a certain level that you set, it will try and bring it down so it doesn't go beyond that level. Remember that -26 that I was talking about before, the sort of like average level my voice went up to? That's what we're going to set this to, so around about -26. The ratio I'm going to have quite high, but not as high as 10. I'm going to set it to something like 7. That should still be all right. This is basically how much it makes things quieter by. I do still want things to move around a little bit. I want my voice to kind of change volume, but not so much that people have to change their volume on their computers or whatever it is they're like watching me on. This option, make up gain for 0 dB after compressing, will basically make it so after the compressor's done its job, it will make it so that everything hits like 0 and is the maximum loudness. I would normally turn this on, but I'm actually going to leave it off for now because I just don't want to do it in the compressor. There's a better way, in my opinion, that you can make your gain work. But for now, we're going to hit OK. And what you can see with even just the shape of the audio is that it's really a lot flatter and everything's kind of hitting the same level. So if I play my audio now... So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? And then he FaceTimes me, and he's like, "How are the books going?" And I say, "Yeah, they're going really good." Yeah, so now we have a much more consistent voiceover. And at the moment, we've kind of just used noise reduction, that filter EQ, and also the compressor to get us to this sort of stage. The last thing we need to do is get this to be loud, so then that way when we put it into whatever video editor we're working in, we're able to, hear it. The way we do that is using loudness normalization. So yet again, with my audio selected, we're going to go into Effect, Loudness normalization. Long story very short, loudness normalization, easiest thing to set it to -18 LUFS, which is I think like 2 below what you normally have for video, which is -16. You don't need to change anything else. Hit OK. And now we have audio that is at a good loudness. Let's have a listen to it. So my friend got me these books about music theory, and they're really cool books, and I really like them. And I've been reading through them. I kind of read through them in a sequence, or at least I'm reading through them in a sequence, right? And then he FaceTimes me, and he's like, "How are the books going?" And I say, "Yeah, they're going really good." And he says, "Have you been practicing your scales?" And I'm like, "What scales? I haven't gotten to that bit yet." And he said, "Well, you haven't gotten to that bit in the book I gave you about scales." And I realized that one of the books has scales, and I should have just been practicing with them all the time. I feel a little bit dumb, but it's all right. And there you go. You have really good audio out of Audacity. Yeah, again, this was just recorded from my phone using my headphones, and all we've done is use Audacity to make it really usable audio. So if you're a YouTuber and you're thinking, hey, I need to get myself a really good microphone, do this first, because even if you eventually end up getting yourself a really good microphone, knowing how to use Audacity to make your audio sound really good is a really important skill. These aren't really difficult steps to go through. Also, Audacity has really good documentation on all of the steps that I've talked about. I've put the link for each step's description that Audacity has in the description of this video, so feel free to have a look. But yeah, I hope you found this useful. If you haven't, tell me. If you have, tell me. I like replying to comments and I like trying to make my content better. But yeah, cool.